MGTOW Australia. Male risk factor. When I upload my videos on YouTube, there is something that really irritates me. It's when I'm typing the word male in the metatag section, the search tags. When typing in the word male, right beside the word male, information pops up that has risk factor. Now I've searched for anything that may be linked to risk factor, like maybe a male pop group or something similar, but I can't find anything. So why does YouTube have this occurring? What's the cause of this? Am I a risk factor? Are males a risk factor? There are a few ways one can look at this, and it's interesting. 2 days ago I had the police come to my house. I was not at home. It was now the second time in 6 weeks that they came to my house. The first time I was at home 6 weeks ago. They knocked on the front door, came inside my house without a warrant and started to search my house. I asked them what was wrong, and they said that my ex-partner had called the emergency line and that the police could hear screaming on the other end. I told them that she doesn't live here and that they, the police, should know this because they had served me the ADVO Papers that included information of her new premises, and the address was suppressed to myself yet available to the police. They said that her phone number was registered to my address. When the dust settled, there were a few things that I was concerned about, so I headed to the police station. I asked them if they had spoken to her and if my children were okay. They said that they couldn't give me the information that I requested, so I requested that they make sure that they have the right address details in their system, as the mother lives around a 40-minute drive away. She used to send me her electricity bills with her address on the inside of the letter. Anyways, that was 6 weeks ago. 2 days ago, police came to my house again at 9 in the morning. I was out flying my hexacopter. It was great weather with no wind. I came back home at around 10 AM. My neighbour said to me that police came knocking on my door. I checked the camera media storage device, and sure enough, there were 2 officers knocking on my front door, a femme and a male. They stayed at the front knocking for a while and then proceeded to go to the back, into my backyard, and knocking on the back door. This time, they were in my property without me even being there. I was shocked but not surprised. We had been labelled as risk factors by this joke of a system. I drove to the police station and asked them what was up. They said to me that my ex's phone had pranked the emergency line and then hung up. I asked them if my children are okay. They said that they couldn't answer that and that I had to go through the legal channels for that type of information. I also explained that this occurred 6 weeks ago and that they should know her actual address, especially because this is not the first time that it had happened. I insisted that they make sure that they have her address in the system and pursue that address rather than mine. Risk factor. Who is the risk factor? Now I can sit here talking on and on about how us men are not risk factors to prove that we are not, but I won't, because I don't have to convince you or me of that. Risk factor. Marriage is a risk factor. Being with a female is a risk factor. Sleeping with a woman is a risk factor. Having a girlfriend is a risk factor. Being divorced is a risk factor. I'm separated from her and the police continue to harass me, posing like they are doing an important job when they know the mother lives in whoop whoop land in relation to where I live. It's sad to say, but in today's world, even having children is a risk factor due to the fact that government and police will staunchly aid any mother against the father, using the children as pawns, with not a care in the world for the father nor children. I was having a chat with a new friend of mine on my mobile phone a few days ago, and he told me that legal aid said to him that because he hasn't seen his children for 5 years, that makes him a risk factor. It didn't matter that he had no say in whether he tried to see his kids or not during that 5 years, and his ex made sure that he didn't. The police still gave her an apprehended domestic violence order against myself, yet charged her with 2 counts of assault. I got charged with nothing. They know she gave a false statement. I'm a risk factor. I'm very fortunate that I had a video recording of what really happened regarding the false allegations that were made against me. What about all the other boys that are locked up in jail for false allegations? I've spoken to a few boys that come out of prison, and they all told me that many of them that are inside are locked up for false allegations made by their exes. If you think about that for one moment, just one moment, that the police, politicians and judges don't know about this tragedy against males, then think again. They are much more informed than you think they are. I have children and the police won't tell me if they are okay. Where is their duty of care? The police are a risk factor. It is risky having police around you, especially for a male. One never knows what they are going to get up to. So what's left for men in the blue-pilled world? Nothing but whatever crumbs that they are given. Risk factor? I say, men, reduce your risks. Stay away from relationships in every way, shape and form. Let the system starve. Let it crumble and wither away into nothingness. Let them forever regret the moment that their sorry asses began to fuck with us.